Right, well, my name is Rob. I'm a blacksmith. I've been a blacksmith since I left school in 1967, and I bought this place as a going concern in '79. It's a smithy. It was built in the early to mid 1600s, and it's always been a smithy, unbroken all the time. All the work we do is traditional from various estates, and people who want work doing that they can't buy off the shelf. That's basically it.
So for people like me watching this, I'd assume in the past there was one blacksmith per village, but that's not the case, is it?
It's not, no. We think there was 5 in the village in the past.
And just for people watching, Tibshelf's not that big a place, is it?
It's not, no.
You went from 5 blacksmiths in one small village. Could you name 5 blacksmiths anywhere now?
No, I cannot.
So because of that, you get a lot of work all across the country now, don't you?
Yes, we do. We do National Trust, churches, a lot of churches, stately homes.
So do you think this business will be around in another couple of 100 years?
Hopefully. Hopefully it will be around in another 100 years or so. It'll be a shame if it isn't. And we will still have stately homes. We'll still have stately homes that need it. Churches need it because it has to be done in the spirit of what it should be done. And they don't accept modern methods, and they don't expect it to be done in a modern manner. So that's where we score.
So we've talked about how you're a small business, but you're really important because who else in the area does this type of thing, and who else works for these big organisations across the country. But you also do small jobs, don't you? Tell us about a recent small job that you had.
Where a chap come in that runs a vineyard, and he wanted his scythe straightening, repairing, so that it was functional again, which we did.
I'm Barry Lewis, and I'm the owner of Amber Valley Vineyards. So we grow regeneratively, so we work with nature. We don't use any herbicides, we don't use any pesticides, no sprays at all, really. And the principle behind it is to look after your soil, and your soil will look after your vines. It's a whole ecosystem in its own right. So we use a whole gamut of tools effectively to try and manage our vineyard, from the traditional and the old to the latest sorts of technologies as well. Because we're a relatively small business, and it pays for us to care more about our environment. Some of the innovations we've got right now are things like a RoboBob, which is our remote control mower, and it's small, short, squat on tracks. It's hybrid as well, so helps us get into all of the nooks and crannies of the vineyard, helps us manage invasive species. So really important bit of kit, but it's horses for courses. Sometimes we need a softer and lighter approach, and generally that's where the scythe comes in. So if we need to gather small bags full of green hay for local people to scatter on a corner of their garden, for example, then using a scythe is a much more effective way of doing that than chopping it up with a mower.
So nowadays I'd assume that RoboBob is easy to order off the internet, or you go into a shop and you can buy it. But I don't know anybody who sells scythes. How did you go about getting one of those?
We inherited the scythe.
I'm assuming it wasn't in the best of conditions when you got it out.
No, it wasn't in the best of conditions. It was reasonably okay, but the blade was quite chipped and it needed a lot of attention, and the angle of the blade was slightly wrong for somebody of my height and build and so on. So we took it away over to Mathers in Tibshelf and to see what they could do.
So why didn't you just buy a new scythe?
Because old tools fit. Modern tools, they don't seem to work right in your hands.
So we were looking initially at a replacement blade, which would have been quite an expensive thing because it's very intricately folded and then bolted onto the kind of the frame, if you like, of the scythe. So their solution was, well, actually, we can do you a much more reasonable job and retain its integrity, if you like, by refurbishing it, so and altering the angle of the blade. So they did all of that. All the chips and nicks have gone out of the blade, and it's beautifully sharp and angled at just the right way that it becomes a great bit of kit to use now.
So I understand it's for most people it's a small piece of kit, but I think quite vital for the type of work and the type of ethos that you have here at Amber Valley Vineyards. What does it mean to you to have someone like Maffers available? What would you have done if they weren't there?
I think we'd have struggled.
Well, without us, I don't know what the other organisations would do, because they're looking for somebody that can repair items how they would have been repaired 100 years ago, or when they were, when they were first envisaged. So I do not know of any other company that does what we do.
Hand designed to be used by an individual, and it's designed for a purpose, and it just works for what it does. And centuries of thinking have gone into these sorts of bits of kit.
So you've had the scythe from Maffers of Tibshelf, and you've got a relationship with them, and they're helping you do what you do. And how does that keep going?
So yeah, I mean, we always try and pay that forward in a sense by working with other businesses right across Derbyshire. We always try and seek out local businesses for everything that we do, and to work with other local businesses. And then, in a bigger sense, we have our markets, our regular markets that we hold here in our orchard, just here. And there we have a whole range of producers, from a lady called Josie over in Stonebroom, who makes vegan fudge, for example. And then we have Casa Gomez up in Chesterfield, and they make chorizo and chorizo sauces and pancetta and so on, and they're very popular down here. Local lady who makes chutneys. We have a honey producer who's just across the valley over in Higham as well. So a whole range of businesses that we work with, and if we're ever thinking about doing some kind of event, we try and tie them in some way as well. And that's how we keep paying it forward. And likewise, we're there for them if they ever need wine, cider, so on.
So what does it feel like knowing that that scythe, in its own small way, is supporting a load more people the other part of Derbyshire?
Yeah, it's nice doing a scythe or any tool for craftsmen, because I know that Barry, he could not manage without the scythe to do that. So if he gets a good job for doing that, it gives me a bit of pride that it's worked for him. But then also, he's continuing the vineyard in a traditional manner, as we are, so the tradition has been passed on to different craftsmen.
So like we have mycorrhizal networks underneath the soil here, which connects all of our plants and living things in the orchard, we have a different sort of ecosystem as well above the ground, where we're working with producers and makers of various types throughout Derbyshire, and it's the same. It's reproducing these very special sorts of ecosystems which help keep all of our businesses thriving and fit for the future.